Hello and welcome everyone to this master class. We are going to be talking today about addressing and conquering our limiting beliefs and fears. And I'm so excited today to be able to facilitate this conversation with all of you that are joining this conversation live, as well as the people that are going to be tuning in after the live recording. I'm so excited, to just be here in this time that we're living in today, because one, it is such a gift to be a human being walking on the face of this earth. I spoke yesterday about how the odds of us living during this time is 0 to 400 trillion. So technically, every single person that is walking on the face of this earth is a living miracle. And it's so important for us to really understand our own value and our own worth as we facilitate or as we maneuver through our human experience, and also addressing our own limiting beliefs and fears on a consistent basis, especially when we are desiring to operate in our own divine purpose. And every single one of us has one. So today, I really want to talk about some of the limiting beliefs that we tend to just kind of process through on a consistent basis. Some of them meaning, like some of the sayings that we kind of play, consistently in our mind is, oh, I'm too old, or I'm too young to do that, or I just don't have enough experience and I don't think I'm going to even try, or they'll never follow me. I'm just not that great of a leader, or I've never done that, so I'm not going to do it, or I'm too scared, or I don't even want to try. I mean, there's just so many things that we play out in our subconscious or in our conscious mind that sometimes just becomes like a constant recording that we don't address. And so where do these limiting beliefs and fears, they tend to keep us in our comfort zone, and they also tend to keep us in they keep us blocked, they keep us stuck, they keep us from progressing in, the desires of our heart, and oftentimes just don't allow us to progress at all. And so I'm going to ask if you are not muted, can you please mute your line so that we are able to not have any distractions on this conversation? And I'm also going to ask for some feedback as we progress through this conversation, because I would love to get some ideas as to how some of you who are on this call, how you address or what limiting beliefs you tend to deal with on a consistent basis. So, having some of these limiting beliefs and fears, oftentimes they block us from achieving and moving towards our goals professionally and on a personal level. And so thankfully, we have the ability and the capacity to address these conscious and unconscious thoughts with optimistic messages. And it's so important for us to, they say there's a saying that says that we are the sum of the 5 people that we spend the most time with. And so these platforms are really important for us to integrate ourselves with as we are removing and overcoming and just really moving through these blockages or these limiting beliefs and fears, because oftentimes they're just made up stories. They're just beliefs that we have just like adopted through the course of our lifetime. And, we are being programmed the moment that we are planted in our mother's womb. And all of this information is coming to us from different areas, right? So it's really important for us as we become more aware and more conscious that we are really working through and putting ourselves in situations and in front of people that are going to help us move forward in those belief systems that often are made believe. So by changing your thinking, you can change the trajectory of your entire life. How amazing is that? So, why do we have these limiting beliefs and fears? So these fears and limiting beliefs often come from unconscious patterning, which appear as defense mechanisms that we avoid, that we use as possible avoidance, right, of frustrations, failures, and disappointments. And at time in the past, you may have experienced or suffered from an experience with something specific. And then when you come face to face with a similar experience again, you tend to block it out because you've already created this story about this experience that you don't want to have again. Right. And so a good start and exercise to counteract limiting beliefs and fears is to look for the root of the problem, of where it's coming from. So some of the origins of where these fears and limiting beliefs might have come from is from personal beliefs. So from personal experiences that you may have had throughout your history, right? And then there's also hereditary experiences and beliefs. So, belief systems that have been passed on from generation to generation. And then there's excuses. There's fears and excuses, again, from experiences that you've had, and then you don't want to experience this again. So then you don't even want to try, because there's, again, this like story that comes from this experience that you had that was possibly a not so good experience, and then you just don't want to go through this again. So then you go through this constant sabotage, right? Like you're just sabotaging yourself in order for you not to have this bad experience again. And then there's social circles, right? Then you start to, we're energy, right? Like at the end of the day, we're made up of water and energy. And so we're constantly absorbing these belief systems, this energy that's coming from, your social circles, from the environments that you're putting yourself in, from society, from religious beliefs. There's just so many reasons why we have these subconscious belief patterns and fears that are keeping us stuck from moving forward. And it's really important for us to address these limiting beliefs and fears because all of us are maneuvering through our the growth of our business. But most importantly, we're maneuvering through the growth of our human evolution, which is the most important, because as we maneuver through our human evolution, we are able to, face everything, every challenge, every obstacle, every decision, every experience that we have with so much more courage, with so much more discipline, with so much more just this ability to just be fearless in the approach to moving forward through everything that you face in life. And that really is a process that will allow you to really overcome any glass ceilings, even in the growth of our business, right? And so how do we overcome these limiting beliefs is really where I want to spend some time, like diving deep, because this is what we want to do. We don't want to stay stuck in what was. We really want to focus on what could be and how we can move forward every single day, because really, and I talk about this all the time, that yesterday and even just a minute ago is already history, right? So there's nothing that we can do to change what has already transpired. And tomorrow hasn't been created yet. The only thing that exists is what's happening in this current reality, what's happening right here and right now. So the more that you become aware of what is blocking you, or why you had to have those experiences in the past, the more that we are able to supersede and progress in everything that we are aspiring to achieve in this upcoming season that we are going into, in this near future. So one, we want to identify where your limiting belief is coming from. So the first step to overcoming your limiting beliefs and fears is to identify what it is or what they are. And if you fear there may be multiple limitations, then start with the largest one and then repeat this step with each limiting belief. And so I want to say that this is not something that's easy. You know, personal development and facing yourself and taking responsibility for everything that has transpired over the course of your life, it's a grand responsibility, really. And so addressing a lot of these subconscious patternings takes time, and it takes a lot of unconditional love and grace and acceptance of what has already happened, right? And so the only thing that you can really do is just look at it and know that it's a part of your reality. And then we get to the root of the problem, just like anything else, right? Just like our bad habits. You know, how do we address bad habits? It's a daily concerted effort of replacing a bad habit with a good habit. And you take a 1%, it's the 1% shift every single day to make that a part of your lifestyle, right? So this is how we're going to, you know, start the process of moving through superseding limiting beliefs and fears that we consistently face as a human being. So number two, you want to recognize that it's just a belief. Your belief may be a belief that was founded on falsities, on theories, right? We're getting information from so many different places. I mean, you can even take this conversation right now as just theory, right? Because these are experiences and philosophies that I'm teaching through my own personal experiences, as well as what I've learned over the course of my life through psychology, through you know, neurology, through holistic healing. I mean, I've read several books over the course of my life, and really what I've learned through even reading books and learning from other people and being a part of these types of conversations is that you have to go through the experience and you take what you learn and you filter through and you take what resonates and then you move forward, right? And so it's really important to recognize that belief, and then it's likely to be completely untrue, and it's just a belief, not a fact. So it's really your responsibility, again, to really look at your own life and the experiences that you're having and really understand why you believe what you believe. And if it's something that just doesn't resonate with you anymore, you can filter through it and release it. This is why it's so important for us to really you know, nourish our bodies and to purge ourselves on a consistent basis from toxicities and from just everything that's no longer serving us, because we have the ability to really tune in to our soul, our spirit, our inner guidance, to be able to teach us and show us what's real, what's a fact for our own life, right? Number three, challenge your own belief now that you have recognized it. It's just a belief rather than a grounded fact, and question your belief as you're really, you know, working through this process. Ask yourself, is this belief really grounded in my morals and my values and what I stand for as a human being? Is what is supporting these facts of why I feel the way that I feel, why I can't move forward? Did I always think this way, or is this something that I adopted through my social circle or what I'm listening to or hearing from on the news, right? Is this a belief helping me progress towards my goals every single day? Because one, the number one goal, like every single day, is just to get through the day with ease and grace, right? With fluidity, with more focus, with more clarity, right? And doing what feels right for you, not for everybody else, what feels right for you. Because at the end of the day, we were all brought here with a specific, we were created one with a specific DNA code. Our life is not supposed to look like our neighbors. It's not supposed to look like every person here on this platform. It's supposed to look like how you design it. You are the architect and designer of your destiny. And although we each signed a soul contract before we came into this human experience, our goal really through this human evolution is to remember what that is And you can't do that trying to fit in and be like everybody else, right? There's models and there's systems that can be put in place, right, for us to develop really good habits, to develop positive belief systems that will allow us to progress. And it's really important to have these conversations on a consistent basis for us to be able to achieve our goals. And it's really amazing to have communities, for instance, like Isogenics, that has, so much positive influence, impactful influence that allows us to fulfill our own destiny and our own purpose each and every day by sharing such a beautiful gift that allows each and every person to operate in their own, in such an optimal way, right? So think about, someone that you are really inspired by. How do you believe that they think, right? Think of people like Albert Einstein, genius, right? Steve Jobs, Oprah, et cetera. Think about, a very successful, that you deem successful, right, person. How do you believe that they live their lives every day? What types of practices do you think they implement every single day? And adopt those practices to be able to move forward every single day for you to be able to fulfill your own destiny. Number 4, recognize the potentially damaging effect or consequence of your limiting belief and fear. Think about what that is doing and preventing from you to operate in your most brilliant state. Think about all that it's blocking you from, achieving on a consistent basis, how it's blocking you from having the amazing conversations and connections, how those limiting beliefs and fears are blocking you from your growth and evolution and, just, being on the trajectory to becoming the best and most brilliant and most, just influential version of yourself. Because really, at the end of the day, it is about you, but it isn't. You have to be selfish in order for you to be selfless. You have to be operating in your most abundant self in order for you to be selfless in giving this information to people that really need it. Because I will tell you that we are the 1%. We are the people that are actually allowing this information to come in so that we can do the work, so that we can really make an impact. Because at the end of the day, it's about how much we can impact the energetic field around us. It's not really about impacting the entire world. It's about impacting the energetic sphere in your own personal world. And you have the capacity to do that because you're a miracle. Like, you're a living miracle just by breathing, right? So it's really important for us to consistently address this and really ask yourself, like, how is this belief or how is this fear limiting me in really walking in my divine purpose? I have to make a concerted effort every single day to address this and look at myself in the mirror and ask myself, how can I do better, right? So number 5, adopt a new belief and choose something new to believe in, something that will help you improve your life every single day. And I will tell you, just like I said at the beginning of the call, it's not an easy transition. It definitely takes a lot of discipline and a lot of desire, a lot of courage, and a lot of strength that you build every single day. And I will tell you, all the experiences that you've collected throughout your lifetime, good or bad, which I really don't believe that there is failures. I don't believe that they're not the best decisions. I would like to kind of, reiterate the importance of really shifting the language that we use, right? Because every experience that we have had throughout our lifetime, it's information. It's all information for us to be able to have in the Rolodex of experiences that we collect throughout our lifetime, to be able to make better decisions from this moment moving forward, right? And so how do you really take all of this information and you utilize it to become the best version of yourself day in and day out? Well, you put it into practice. Number 6 is putting into practice. And some people say that practice makes perfect. No, practice makes practice. The more that you practice, the better that you get. And there's a saying that says every master was once a disaster, and it takes a minimum of 10,000 hours. Think about that. Think about how much 10,000 hours entails, right? Like how much you're going to learn in those 10,000 hours. That's a minimum to develop a mastery in something. So utilize this human experience as your playing ground, your earth school. We're in earth school right now. And we utilize this experience to be able to master ourselves and to be able to recognize that we are limitless human beings. We are spiritual beings living a human experience, and there's nothing that we cannot achieve. And so I want you to use this statement that I'm going to give you as a way for you to start reprogramming your subconscious mind to overcome these limiting beliefs and fears that you may be dealing with on a daily basis. So there's going to be 2 that I'm going to give you, and I'm also going to give you 3 books that if you have not read or listened to put these in the Rolodex of items or, material that you use to continue to progress in your daily experience. So the first statement is, I am easily and effortlessly changing old beliefs that block my success. And you can use that statement every day. You can even put it as an alarm on your phone. I have 4 alarms that go off every single day throughout my day. And they're either intentions, affirmations, or statements that are going to remind me of my greatness. Okay.
Please repeat.
I'm sorry.
Please repeat that.
Yes.
And put it in, maybe put it in, somebody could type it in the text. That'd be awesome.
Yes. I will do that. I am easily and effortlessly changing old beliefs that block my success. And then the second one is, my subconscious mind is open to receive new and empowering beliefs that align with my desired goal. So these are 2 amazing and powerful statements that you can use. You can, like I said, you can use it as an alarm, and it'll go off on your phone and you repeat it. And it's think of it as like you are going through a reprogramming or like a regeneration of your computer, of your supercomputer, and you're training your subconscious mind to adopt that belief in your conscious mind. And that's something that you're going to live out every single day. Okay. 3 books that I encourage you to read and to just, again, put in your Rolodex of material is Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers. Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers. Fearless by Max Lucado. And The Big Leap, Conquer Your Hidden Fears and Take Life to the Next Level by Gay Henricks. These are 3 amazing books that are so great to have in the Rolodex of your experience. And these are books that there's so many. I mean, there's so many personal development books out there that I can mention right now. But these 3 are really great ones because they kind of hit the nail on the head, right? And I feel like every personal development book, it kind of all says the same. They all kind of say the same, just in different, in different language. I mean, I'm not repeating something that you don't know. I'm just giving you a reminder of what you might have forgotten. And it's really important to have these reminders at the forefront of your mind, because, you know, we're human and we have so many distractions and we are being pulled in so many different directions, right? Every second of the day, right? But it's really important for us to really bring ourselves back to center. This is why the isogenic systems are really important, and they're so amazing, because what does isogenics mean? It means balance of the body. And if you don't have balance and you're not able to really like recalibrate yourself on a consistent basis, oftentimes you're going to be pulled into these rabbit holes. And so it's really important for you to take responsibility on a consistent basis, to bring yourself back to this present moment, and to recognize that these limiting beliefs and fears are often just made up stories. They're made up stories from things that, the experiences that we adopted in the past, or what we've heard in the news, or from social circles that are not influencing us in the most positive way. And so I leave you, you know, with that thought, is that, you know, we have a divine responsibility, as a human being walking on the face of this earth. And, you know, the more that we take responsibility of ourselves and our actions and our own limiting beliefs, the more we are able to walk in our divine purpose on a consistent basis, to impact the world with so much, just genuine, authentic responsibility. So I'm going to open up the lines of communication for anyone that would love to chime in, and to maybe, you know, be vulnerable and transparent with some of the limiting beliefs and fears that you deal with. And maybe we can help you just kind of get to the root of the problem in the next couple of minutes. And yeah, anyone who would love to chime in. Anyone. It takes courage, people, to step up.
I think that I grew up with that kind of mentality. I think in my family, I was considered to be the black sheep of the family. I guess all my brothers became more successful than I was, and I have one negative brother in my family. And I think that every time I listen on to what he puts on my social media, it kind of backs me up and puts me back into my shy place. I'm a very introverted person. As you know, I mostly console myself around nature and the country. And for me to open up the way I did to social media and post pictures and share what I had to share, I'm still getting over the obstacles of getting past that. And sometimes I wake up in the morning and say, no, what are you doing? This is stupid. You know, blah, 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 blah in my mind. But I try to unprogram myself and say, you know, that's my past, you know, talking to me. And I try to move into the present. And sometimes I get to that point that I feel like, you know, there's a lot of things that people don't. I'll talk openly. I don't smile a lot because my front teeth are damaged. I have perfect back teeth, bad front teeth. And I'm trying to get past. That's why you see me smile on camera, I go like that a lot. I don't really smile in person. And there's a lot of obstacles that I'm going through right now. But I have discovered that by being here and talking to everyone else, I'm going to the reprogramming in my mind every single day, and doing the gratitudes and doing the meditation and accepting myself where I really am as a person, and just moving forward. So, and any advice you could give to help me get past that programming I grew up with, I would be grateful to know a little bit more.
Well, I want to tell you, Loretta, you are just, you are amazing. And I'm really grateful that you always just step up, and regardless of, you know, the old patterning that you've experienced and are working through, you still show up and you are vulnerable enough to share your story. And that right there is the first step to overcoming and moving through, not past, through, in forward motion. And I will tell you that I'm the youngest of four, and I'm definitely considered one of the black sheep of my family. And I grew up in a very traditional Mexican, very like the denomination that I grew up in. I was basically brought up to believe that everything that I did outside the church, I was a sinner and I was going to hell. And so there was a lot of, limiting beliefs that I had to work through as well to recognize that no, that's not the truth. That's not the truth. And so what happens is that you even just recognizing that, that was a part of your history, and even you putting yourself in these platforms and these positions to learn and to move past it, right? And that was one of the points that I made about addressing what that limiting belief is, identifying it one, and addressing it, full first by looking at yourself in the mirror and asking yourself where that's coming from, where the root of the problem is coming from. And for you, it's a generational thing. It has been passed on from generation to generation. You have siblings that, by society's definition of success, are more successful than you. But what does success even mean? They have a title, they have a degree, a higher level degree than you, they're more well-spoken, they look different than you. What does that mean, right? And so, you just being here right now and having these conversations and being vocal about what it is that you're dealing with right now is really going to propel you into overcoming and just superseding those stories. And so I encourage you to write that old story that you just shared with us, and then write a new story of how you desire to feel in your body, how you desire to see yourself, but don't do it in future tense. Write it as though it's already here, as the I am. I am living this way. I do look at myself this way. I am amazing. I'm incredible. I am beautiful. I am succeeding in everything that I do. Like, those I am statements are affirming and confirming that you are living your divine purpose every single day. Does that help?
Yes, it does help.
Awesome.
And I agree with you. In my past, I grew up knowing that everybody was Catholic and Christian, and I'm kind of a mix of different spiritual beliefs. And they always consider me, well, you're not supposed to believe in that. Ooh, what's going to happen? You're going to go to hell. And I'm like, I don't think I'm going to go to hell, because, I do believe in God. I do believe in parts of the Bible. And I just practice this different by cooperating my meditation and my lifestyle to the way I feel comfortable with, and still able to praise God in my own way.
Yeah. And again, it's really important for you to just do what feels right for you as you're going through this experience, because again, there's really no right or wrong. Every experience that we have individually is the experience that we need to have in order for us to progress in our human experience. And your idea of spirituality or God may shift as you continue to grow and evolve in your human evolution. So it's really important for you to do what's best for you as you are open or adopt these new ideas that are going to help you become a better version of yourself moving forward.
Well,
Go ahead.
real quick, you learn by other people's success, but you can't judge your own success by what other people are doing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like you could, take components of what people are doing and make them applicable maybe to your life, but the idea of kind of basing your life after someone else's beliefs of success, that will hurt you, I think.
It is.
But it's like, you have to learn the hard way that way.
Well, it really is just a matter of, I just believe that the best way to maneuver through growth is to allow yourself to experience as much as possible. I was a person that never really limited myself from experiences. So I went everywhere I was drawn, whether I was drawn down these rabbit holes and really negative experiences, but gosh dang it, I learned some very valuable lessons, right? So I never really limited myself in what I could do or what I couldn't do, because I was always a free spirit. Julie, you have your hand up. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, I just put, I know you probably know Brene Brown.
Yes.
vulnerability and all of that. And I put it in the chat, her link. I mean, it's so fabulous, and it's all about, then it boils down to courage. Like, do you have the courage? And then she's just so good about having the courage to be your authentic self, but also having the courage to step out and do and stay connected to your soul's callings and your courage. And the funny thing, she said, like all of us are stepping out in faith with this and having courage to step out with this business model that some people poo-poo on, because they just don't know. And they don't know what it's about, because it's probably the greatest, most amazing business model out there. But she says the one thing for certain, when you have courage, the one thing for certain, like, you're gonna have to be vulnerable. Vulnerability and courage is very the same thing. Is having the courage to step out and let everything be exposed. When you step out, like we're doing. But she said the only thing was certain is you're gonna get your ass kicked. So I love that. It's like, be prepared. And if you are, but comfort, making decisions for comfort is not courageous. It's just not courageous. So I invite everybody to listen to that link. Brene Brown with the B.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that.
It kind of goes into everything that you're sharing. It all dovetails into that. I just shared it in the link.
Okay.
In the chat.
I really, really appreciate that. I'm gonna copy that link, and then I'm also going to add it in the comment box when I upload this video. I am just so grateful for the ability and the capacity that I have to be able to facilitate these conversations. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity that Sunny has given me to be able to do this on this particular community, because although, we are all aspiring to grow our businesses will only grow as far as our mindset grows. And the ability to see, I remember a few years ago when I was marathon training, I ran 5 marathons, and my last one was in 2017. And through those years, I utilized those years as a way to really take my personal development to a whole new level. So during that time, I was reading books, I was listening to podcasts, I was listening to audiobooks. I had a lot of time to myself. So, I utilized that time graciously. And I had this vision, right? This vision that a lot of people didn't see. And I spent a lot of time in transition, moving from city to city, from career to career, just never really allowing anybody's perception or opinion of me stop me from doing what I needed to do. And so one of the books that I listened to during that time was Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. And I remember during that time, I couldn't even conceptualize having $1 million, because I came from 2 immigrant parents that didn't even have, I come from immigrant parents that don't even have an elementary school education. And they also didn't have any money. I remember when my dad moved us here to Las Cruces, New Mexico, he got a job making $3.50 an hour with 6 family members to support. How he did it, how him and my mom did it, by the grace of God. That's all I can say. You know what I mean? So
that's courage, baby. That's courage.
Exactly.
Your daddy's a walking example of freaking courage.
He is. He really is.
God bless his soul.
I tell him all the time, I used to take my parents for granted, and now I'm just so grateful that my soul chose this path through their vessel, because that experience has taught me so much. It's also taught me the value of $1, one, and it's also taught me that money is just energy. It literally, if you know how to circulate it and you're responsible with what you have, You can do anything. My parents on minimum wage have been able to pay off a mortgage. They have paid off 2 vehicles. They have tons of money in savings. How did they do it with no, like not even an elementary school education? They did it with responsibility, with divine responsibility and integrity, right? And so there's nothing that anybody can tell me that you cannot do, because everything is possible. And I remember reading The Secrets of a Millionaire Mind and thinking that it's all in the mind. If you can conceptualize it in your mind, you can achieve it in real life. It's tangible. But the thing is that there's valuable lessons and experiences that you need to have through your human evolution for you to even recognize your own worth, to even recognize the value that you hold. And there's no dollar amount that can do that for you, not even billions or trillions. So I remember thinking this to myself just a few weeks ago, and I even wrote it in my journal, conceptualizing the idea or like the tangibility of having $1 billion to circulate. And that became so real to me because I could literally visualize it and I could feel it. And the magic is in the feeling. The magic is in the belief and the feeling. If you can feel it in your body as though it already is, and living every single day as though you're already a billionaire, a trillionaire, or millionaire, or whatever number you have in your mind, it's here in your energetic space. And all you have to do is take action every single day. 1% shifts every single day to make that happen. Do you want to add something, Raquel? You have your hand up.
Yeah. Just on the subject of fear, I just wanted to share with everybody that I was in a 3-year abusive relationship, and I was so afraid of getting out. And all I knew was the comfort of the abuse, and I had a lot of trauma bonding. And all I kept thinking every day I would wake up was, I need to get out of this relationship, but I'm like terrified. Like, how am I going to support myself? How am I going to cope? Like, I don't have any friends. I am out here in the desert. I don't know anybody. There's cartels. They're going to get me. You know, like this man put all these horrible things in my head. So I was constantly in a state of high stress. And I was having a lot of like neurological, muscular issues and symptoms. Like I would feel sick to my stomach. I had episodes of like constipation. I had gastritis. I mean, I had all these health problems, and I just never knew how horrible this abusive person could create all these illnesses in my body. And one day I said, I have to do it. You know, nothing could be worse than what I'm going through. And I decided to just have courage and bravery. And I decided to get rid of this man. And this man tried everything in his power, all his tips and tricks. You know, abusers are like this. They know how to mess with your head. And I put myself in a really weird place. I moved in with a coworker, and she had her issues. But you know what? At the end of the day, like where I am today, 3 months, it's been 3 months now that I've been single. And all my physical illnesses have literally diminished to like maybe, I don't know, like 10%. And I think it's only going to get better. And I really think fear just stops us from loving ourselves and giving ourselves what we need. We become like victims, and we think, oh, we can't do this because someone programmed that in your brain. Society programs this in our brain. It programs us to feel like we're not able to be successful or healthy, or, you know, oh, your grandma has heart disease, so you're going to have it too. So go ahead and eat all that box of donuts, you know, like who cares? But I just think like fear just really holds you back. And sometimes like what you were talking about, Rebecca, like your dad, you know, your father, he didn't have a choice. You know, I think that's it. Like we have choices, but when you're not given a choice, you have to be brave. And I think a lot of us have choices, and we're not in this situation where we're being forced to be successful and being forced to take care of our families. And I think that might be part of the problem too.
Is it your?
So yeah, I wanted to just share that with people in case they're going through something similar.
Oh, Raquel, I really appreciate your bravery, because it does take a lot of courage and bravery to be able to share that story. And you know, to be honest with you, there's a big percentage.
They said she'd be ready in 15 minutes, and that was.
Patty, can you mute your line, please? Thank you. So yeah, I mean, there is a big percentage of people that are going through either similar
Yeah.
struggles. And you know what?
Are you
Pain is
feeling
pain.
better?
Pain is pain.
The,
Struggle is
the
struggle.
pill
Fear
didn't
is
help?
fear. Give me a minute. Let me
All right.
mute this out. I don't know how to do it.
Let me get my place. My phone is charging.
Hopefully, I don't know how to mute the line, but you know, it really is important for us to recognize that sharing our story and, you know, sharing our vulnerabilities, it really has the ability to impact so many people on a positive note, because there's so many people that are struggling right now with these limiting beliefs, with these old stories, with these fears. And so, you know, I really appreciate you taking the time to share, Raquel, even though you've never been on this platform before, because that is another you know, confirmation that you are on the up leveling and on the healing trajectory, the very fast healing and transforming trajectory. Is there anybody else that wants to add to this amazing conversation?
I just want to say, I'm sorry I didn't raise my hand. It's Rachel that just shared that. Girlfriend, thank you. That is so courageous to come out and do that for other people to see there's hope. There's hope in any situation that you can get out, and God has us in the palm of his hands. It's like taking that leap of
Amen.
faith and that one step. So please keep sharing. People need to know that they can do this. That is the silver lining behind all the trauma and everything, that you will help others so much.
100%. Thank you, Julie. Deborah, you had something to share?
Hi, guys. First, I just want to say thank you so much for putting this together today. Rebecca is just so powerful, just wonderful. Thank you. Two things, as I've been doing a lot of soul work and really just thinking through and working through, you know, some of my own personal barriers, related not only to business, but some physical things. You know, one of the things I realized is that my fear right now, well, not right now, my fear that's been happening a long time is not the fear of failure, but it's really the fear of success. And that gets to sustainability of what I achieve. And will I be able to achieve it? And as we think back to, you know, those thoughts that have been programmed into us over the years, is like, oh, you know, you'll never be able to keep this up, or you won't be able to, you know, maintain it, or, you know, these people that are joining you, they're going to, you know, not stay with you on this journey. And it's like, it's all of those little negatives that you've really got to just dig out of your mind. And I love the concept of writing the letter, you know, of this is where I was, and the other letter of this is where I am. And I was going to suggest to Lynn, because I'm going to do the same thing, is write that past tense letter of where you are today or where you've been, write it and then burn it. Because if you keep it around, it's going to stay around. So take that letter, Lynn, and write yourself the letter of where you've been, and then tear it up, put it in the fireplace, burn that sucker.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you know, that's actually one of the suggestions that Secrets of a Millionaire Mind has in the book. It's rewriting your old money story. And you can do this with any story that you have, any fear or limiting belief. So you can write the old one, you can burn it, cross it out like it doesn't exist. But it's also really great to utilize those stories as stories, right? But it's also because it really helps through the healing process to see the progressions of your timeline. And right now we're stepping, I'd like to say that we're quantum leaping into a very different dimension of time. And it's really important that during this time, this quantum leap into a new dimension, that you are very, very aware of what you are seeking to create. And, you know, the vision that we hold in our mind, I love visionaries. I love creatives. I mean, I went to art school. I've been a creative my entire life, and I've always been able to create stories in my mind, right? And it's a beautiful thing. It can be daunting and it can be a little bit overwhelming sometimes because I create a lot of really interesting stories. But if you know how to do that scripting, if you're really conscious about your scripting efforts, you can create anything that you want to create. So, you know, the call to action this week is for us to write the new script. Write the old script, how it happened, how you see it happening, or what the experience was. But then I encourage you to write the new script as though you're living it today. And that will help you take action, take concerted effort action every single day to make that reality happen for you. And it's awesome because you walk outside and we are just so abundant. Like, we're so abundant by nature, especially if you're a person who likes nature and likes to hike and walk and you know, do all things like in our natural paradise, right? Really walking outside and looking at this world from a new lens. Like, I am just so blessed to be able to walk outside and see these amazing clouds, to like experience the sun kissing my skin, to be able to have conversations and connections with people, to be able to have a bed to sleep in, to be able to have water to drink, to be able to have food to eat every single day. Like, what an amazing blessing that is. And when we change our perspective about the experience that we're having into an abundant and blissful experience, that's going to attract more of those experiences. Gratitude is a magnet for miracles. And it really does. It's the ticket to really reprogramming your subconscious really quick. Does anybody want to add to that?
I totally agree with that when it comes to going outside and just walking around. And I'm one of the weird people that I photograph animals, like I went on wild turkeys running around, you know, going to pick up my daughter from the bus, and I found a bunch, like 20 wild turkeys running around. And the first thing I did was grab my camera and take pictures of it. You know, it's just like every little thing around me, because I'm very nature focused, even woodpeckers, animals, any little thing I find to photograph, I snap it right there on the spot, and it keeps a memory in my head. Wow, I got to see this. I've never seen this before. The sunlight, the photograph of the river, any little thing that I find amazing, I take pictures of it and I save it. It makes me recognize everything around me. It's so, like you said, it's a quantum, like it's a second moment of life, and that's why I try taking pictures of little things around me, and it keeps me focused. And hey, how grateful am I to see this? But no, I have never seen this before.
Yes, yes. You're creating mind movies, and anything that you can do to create a mind movie, whether it's with visuals, pictures, vision boards, words, affirmation statements, anything that you can use to put yourself in a positive state of mind, do that. Do that. Utilize like your reels. I mean, all of my social media platforms for the last couple of years have been intentionally building like I'm vision casting every single day, and I see what I want to see. I mean, I'm in a dream world. So, it's really important for you to create that for yourself, because the more you do that, the more you're going to experience it in real time every single day. And the less because, going through this human experience, it's natural for us to experience negative realms. We live in a duality. We live in a duality filled world, right? So the more you experience negativity, and then you start to experience the positive, the more you're going to appreciate the positive because you've experienced the negative. But it's like, contrast, and contrast is so important. It's so important because the more you're able to appreciate the blissful experiences that you have, and you can create so many blissful experiences second by second, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day. I know this call actually has gone over an hour. So anybody else want to add or contribute to this call before we end it for the day? Okay, wonderful. Well, I just want to take the time again to thank you once again for taking this valuable time out of your day to be a part of this conversation. It means the world to me to be able to, translate or facilitate these conversations with the information that has completely transformed and changed the trajectory of my life. And to be a part of this Isogenics community, and to be a part of a global effort that is going to impact billions of people throughout, this future experience that we are walking into. I am just so grateful. So thank you again. And until next time, we will see you soon. Many blessings.